Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Hello my dear students and welcome to new lesson of English, lesson number 9. The title of this lesson is heating and cooling. So this lesson will be so interesting, inshallah. Please draw your attention to me to get the idea of this lesson. So the title is heating and cooling. Let's go inside the lesson. Number A, work in pairs. Think of a definition for each of these terms. Here we have two terms. The first one, boiling point, and the second term is melting point. So we'll explain the meaning of these two terms. Let's do the first one, boiling point. Yes, think my student, think with me. Did you get the idea of this term? I think you have done. Yes. So the boiling point of a substance is the temperature that causes it to change from a liquid to a gas. I will repeat it again. The boiling point of any substance is the temperature that lets it to change from a liquid to a gas. Yes, that's it. Melting point. The melting point of any substance also is, yes, that's right, is the temperature that causes it to change from a solid to a liquid. So these terms connected, these two terms are connecting with the temperature. The first one, the temperature causes the substance to change from liquid to a gas, whereas the second one changes the substance from a solid to a liquid. That is the main difference. Let's move to number B. After that, yes, number B. Match the beginning of the sentences from 1 to 5 to the endings from A to E. We have two columns. The first one numbered from 1 to 5 and the second one from A to E. And we are asked to match between each sentence. The first one, the boiling point of a substance is. Yes, that's right. We have mentioned it earlier. The boiling point, we have mentioned it earlier. We gave a definition for it. So, number one, the boiling point of substance is the temperature that causes it to change from a liquid to a gas. We match it with number E. Number two, at a temperature between its melting point and boiling point, a substance is. Here, at a temperature between its melting point and boiling point, the substance or a substance, yes, a substance will be a liquid. So it's neither solid nor gas. It's between them. It's a liquid. Number three, the melting point of a substance is, and also this term have been explained earlier. The melting point of a substance is the temperature that causes it to change from a solid to a liquid. So here we don't confuse between boiling and melting points. Number 4, At a temperature below its melting point, a substance, yes, that's it, will always be a solid. And finally, number 5, at a temperature above its boiling point, a substance will always be a gas. And here are the answers. You can check your answers and compare them to these answers, my students. Number 1 with E, number 2 with B, number 3 A, 4 D, 5 with C. After doing number B, let's move to the following exercise. Yes, exercise number C. Yes, in exercise number C, we can read: experiments in the laboratory have several stages. So any experiment in the lab, anyone has several stages. Stage number 1, stage number 2, stage number 3, and stage number 4. Number the stages in the boxes from 1 to 4 to show their correct order. Here we have to put the order. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Yes. We have procedure. Here, the actions. Yes. Aim, the objective, the purpose, the goal of this experiment. Conclusions, the final conclusion here. And results, what comes out of this experiment. So if we put these 4 words in the right order, we can proceed. Number 1, aim. We have to know the aim of this experiment or that experiment first. Then we do the procedure. Then we can get the results. After that, we make our conclusion or conclusions. Here are the correct order of the previous exercise. Yes, first aim, objective, then procedure, results, conclusions. You can compare these answers with yours. Now let's move to the activity book. In number A, read the text, work in pairs, discuss these questions. First of all, we have to read the text, then answer the questions. The aim of this experiment. Aim to observe the temperature changes that take place when a solid is heated. Procedures. Yes, crushed ice was placed in a breaker and heated steadily over a Bunsen burner for a period of time. The temperature of the contents of the breaker was recorded at regular intervals. The results were recorded in a graph. Here beside the text we have a graph. The results showed that the temperature increased steadily as the ice was heated. However, at the melting point, the temperature remained at the same level for a period of time before continuing to rise. At the boiling point, the temperature also stopped rising for a period of time. After reading, let's do the task, or let's answer the questions. Number 1, what was the time or the aim What was the aim of the experiment? Yes, you can think of its aim. What was the aim of this experiment? Yes, that's right. The aim is to observe it changes in temperature when a solid is heated. To observe the temperature changes when a solid is heated. Number 2. What substance was heated? Which substance was heated? Yes, crust. Yes, crushed ice. Excellent. Crushed ice. So here we deal, or in this experiment, we dealt with crushed ice. Crushed ice. Number 3. How was the temperature recorded? How was the temperature recorded? Yes, that's right. It was recorded in a graph. In a graph. Number 4. What happened to the temperature at the melting point? What happened to the temperature at the melting point? Yes, the temperature here remained at the same level for a period of time. It remained at the same level for a period of time. Number 5. What happened to the temperature at boiling point? What happened also to the temperature at the boiling point? Also here the temperature stopped rising. It stopped rising for a period of time. After that, my dear students, you can check your answers and compare them. Compare your answers with the right answers here. Number 1, to observe changes in temperature when a solid is heated, and that was the aim. Then what substance was heated? Here we dealt with crushed ice. After that, how was the temperature recorded? Here it was recorded in a graph, and finally the temperature remained at the same level for a period of time. Now let's move to number G, work in pairs. Look at the graph. Here we have a graph also. Then discuss these questions. We have 4 questions to be discussed. What is the experiment about here? We can see here temperature, and here we can see time. So here we are asked about the experiment. What is the experiment about? Yes, you can guess, my students. You can think deeply and guess. What is the experiment about? Yes, that's right. It's about how to observe the temperature changes that take place when a gas is cooled. Number 2. In what ways is the experiment similar or different to the one in exercise number D? I mean the previous experiment. In what ways the experiment similar or different to the previous one? It's the reverse. Here it is the reverse. Here it's the reverse, the opposite of the previous one. Number 3. Describe the shape of this graph. Describe or explain the shape of this graph. The graph shows a straight line falling from left to right. So here we can notice that a straight line falling down from left to right, with 2 horizontal steps. Here we have 2 horizontal steps. This is number 1 and this is number 2. Yes, number 4. Why are their steps in the graph? Why are there steps in the graph? We can answer by saying this occurs when latent heat is given out as the gas changes to a liquid and the liquid changes to a solid. Because of this, the temperature stops falling for a short period. So this occurs when latent heat, when the heat here is given out as the gas changes to a liquid and the liquid changes to a solid. So because of this, the temperature stops falling for a short period of time. Now we can see the possible answers. We can see the possible answers of the previous experiment. After checking your answers, my dear students, we can move to something else. Number B, in your activity book, in your workbook, we can see number B. Samira, Nadia, and Hanan are discussing the results of the experiment. Complete the conversation with can't or must. Here can't in the negative form and must in the positive form. Yes. Now Samira begins the conversation. Samira, it's impossible. The temperature can't have stopped rising. Number one, can't have stopped rising. Nadia, I agree with you, Samira. There, yes, must. Excellent, my students. There must have been a mistake. Perhaps the thermometer was broken. Hanan, no, the temperature was fine when I used it last week. It can't have been faulty. It can't have been faulty. Samira, well, perhaps the student reading the thermometer was not trained. Perhaps the student reading the thermometer wasn't trained. She must have recorded the wrong temperature. Hanan, these are Badriya's results. She's always very careful. I am sure she can't have made a mistake. I am sure of that here. I am sure she can't have made a mistake. Nadia, so why did the temperature stop rising? I think heat energy must have been used to change the state of the substance instead of raising the temperature. Samira, I think you are right, Hanan. Yes, Hanan, Hanan is always right. After reading and answering, we can show the answers to you all. Here we have must and can't. Can't if we want to express the negative meaning, and must if we want to express a affirmative meaning. Let's do the final exercise, which is exercise number C in your workbook, and conclude the lesson. Now, what is Nadia saying? Put these words in order. Here we have disorder words, and we have to put them in the correct order. We have to reorder them. In the sun, evaporated juice have must, the, and full stop. Yes, after thinking, my students, you can put them in the correct order. Yes, that's true. Excellent. the juice must evaporated in the sun, and then we put a full stop. So we begin with the subject, which is the juice. After that we put must, the auxiliary, then have and verb in the past participle evaporated, then the complement of the sentence, the juice must have evaporated in the sun. Now students can or could then try to rewrite their own captions using the structure must have. For example, Abdullah must have drunk it, I must have forgotten to fill the glass, or I must have finished it earlier. Now I can conclude my lesson and your lesson also. I hope you can get the benefit of this lesson, my dear students. Study hard and hard. Don't waste time, because time is gold. And finally, I want to say you all goodbye.